Yo, how y'all doing? Welcome to Thriving Talks with Anthony. Today we're gonna have a insightful conversation. I'm gonna be taking a walk. It's currently 97 degrees out. So on the back end, I'm gonna be in the shade, just doing my thing. But please stick with me because today's gonna be a really intentional video, and I want you guys to get this knowledge, information, which is gonna give you the protection so you're able to navigate within your life, right? So today's video is gonna be learn to stand on your own, right? This is really big when it comes to self-autonomy. A lot of people out here, like I said, it's just they're in a world where, you're being a follower, you're trying to accommodate, by following someone else's allegiance, right? You're not being a leader over yourself. You don't have your own values. You don't have your own morals, right? You're discombobulated because you're always trying to appease the people, right? Being the peacemaker, right? And some of us are coming from dysfunctional families, right? So we play into it because this is what we know. This is what we're used to. But I want us to understand is that when are we going to find time to gain awareness over ourselves? Look at this, for instance, on the back end. You see the benches? There's so many areas in this world that we can go to be able to have the reformation that we need to assess ourselves, to unplug from the dysfunction, to unplug from the distractions, to unplug from, society's expectations, you know what I mean? And what you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to do and this and that, right? What about your values? And that's why I want to be able to develop this video because, like I said, for those out there that come from dysfunctional homes, like we a lot of us out here are scratching our head, and we have an inner critic that's inside our brains that make us feel incompetent, that self-sabotage us because we don't feel that we're worthy enough, we don't feel like we're valuable enough, we don't feel like we're good enough, or we don't feel like we're adequate enough to obtain what we want to obtain. And I want us to understand that, with the awareness, with the willpower, with the support, with true drive and effort, we can make anything happen. But like I said, we have to spend time with ourselves. You know what I mean? On some Scarface stuff on the back end, the world is yours. We all, we all have a part in it. And we all have a place in it. So let's find the time to get into nature. We're able to have some peace and allow that inner voice come back to us, right? And we're able to have live discussion with ourselves, boost ourselves up with that positive self-talk, right? But we have to find time where we're able to have peace of mind, something that we cannot put a dollar amount on this, right? So let's get back into the video, right? So your greatest strength comes from knowing knowing who you are. You have to know who you are. Like I said, people out here are tricking you outside your position, making you feel worthless, trying to have these different, we all know too, let's be real about this. I'm a black man speaking, racial discrimination, this and that, trying to make people feel inadequate. But we all got to know that, like I said, we all play a part in this role. We're all destined for greatness. We all have great gifts. And it's not for us to sit here and compare, make someone feel inadequate. Let's focus on us, aka personal development, and us worry about ourselves. Right? And when you're able to worry about yourself, gain that support, get that insight, right? With that positive self-love, by loving yourself, you're able to love what? Love others. And by loving others, you're loving yourself. So let's improve the way we're able to, think with the positive mindset. Because our perception and how we look at things really can make that difference. So let's not allow someone else's thoughts or false propaganda, right? Destroy the infrastructure of our well-being. You feel me? So the more that you trust yourself, the less that you're going to be able to seek validation from others, right? So you want to be able to, excuse me, because I'm train doing the most right now, right? But you want to be able to build that rapport with yourself, support, and overall making that investment on you, right? I want to really spend some time to really, dive into this more into detail because we out here, we invest into other people. When someone hits you up, you're able to accommodate to them. Stop what you're doing to help them out. You know what I mean? You're making investments on other things, The exterior on what you look like. Shorties, y'all know what's up. Eyelashes and all. The hair, we ain't gonna talk about, Guys too, we getting it, we spend things, luxury stuff. Y'all know what's up, let's make the connection. Let's really spend time to really look at what we put our time into. What do we invest into outside of ourselves? And even ask yourself, why do I do it? We're seeking external validation. Let's just be real. I did it too. You know what I mean? Back in my days, I was spending money every week, blowing my check, going to the mall, trying to look fresh for who? Let's be real, the shorties. Let's be real. But I realized this just to fast forward, yo. When I invest into myself, don't get it twisted. You got to care about the way that you feel about yourself, the way you look. It transcends. You don't get it twisted. So it's not. I'm not gonna sit there and say that I stop. You feel me? But on the back end is this though. You're not gonna find happiness when you're chasing stuff. You're not gonna find happiness having, getting your someone else's approval, someone else's opinion. You're not. When you focus on yourself and you really kind of realize that, what you feel and what you say really hold weight, it changes the game. And I really want us to take in consideration, because we got to change our ways. You know what I mean? Stop blowing frivolous money on this. Stop doing something because someone else is telling you. Stop telling, someone else is doing something because they said it's cool. Like, you got to find your voice. You got to find what's going to be beneficial for you, right? Once again, be the leader of your life. Lead your vision based on how you feel and what you want to do for yourself. You feel me? Because don't let someone else compromise you outside your position. Because what someone else feels about you or what they feel about a situation is how they feel about it. That's their perception. That's their choice. But what about your choice? What about what you think? We got to have that dog in us, and we all do. But when it comes to society, when it comes to our seeking external validation, we suppress what we think and our emotions and, our choices to accommodate other people. Let's be real, y'all. So we need to develop more of that critical thinking, really thinking about why we do what we do. Is this going to lead me to improving my situation, right? And bettering my self-autonomy? Or am I depriving myself? This is serious, y'all, because our self-esteem is on the line. Our well-being is on the line. Our mental health is on the line. Our confidence is on the line by doing all these things that have nothing to do with self and our self-esteem and our self-worth. We need to be building our self-autonomy. What are your values, right? So self-autonomy means learning to think, choose, and live accordingly to your values. You don't need anyone else's approval to have a healthy decision and make that healthy decision for yourself, because when you think for yourself and you're able to realize, like, oh, shoot, this is beneficial for me, you need to do what's going to be beneficial for you. You feel me? In healing, right, often means trusting yourself after years of doubting your own judgment. And for those out there that come from, like I said, dysfunctional dynamics, you have been around people that were trying to break you down, because lack of self when it comes to them, right? Some people have inner demons, have jealousy, have guilt, have greed, are seeking control, seeking domination over you. And just like I used earlier in regards to a tennis court, you have your side, the other person has their own side. You feel me? Not to say that you're an opponent, but we have to keep that mentality. You stay on your side, you maintain your well-being, and let these people do whatever they have to do on their side. We're not responsible for them, because as we both know, when it comes to that tennis court, there's a net in the middle. You ain't supposed to be over here. You feel me? So make sure we're, drawing the connections and we're doing what's beneficial for ourselves. Your identity shouldn't depend on relationships, family, or other people's opinions. You feel me? So even for instance, when it came to really graduating high school, right? For me, I graduated with a 2.33, lacking self-identity, not knowing who I am, having, indecisive self-values due to, like I said, coming from a dysfunctional dynamic, right? People trying to break my self-worth down, self-esteem down. Like, you feel me? And you're a child, you're developing. Why am I in this? Why? And sometimes we'll never truly know. But when you have understanding and you realize that hurt people, you understand that this person went through a lot of trauma, a lot of betrayal, and a lot of emotions that they weren't able to really heal from or take accountability from. You feel me? But it's not our job to be the emotional filter of other people, nor take their opinions into our lives that cause us dysfunction, that cause us to lack of our potential, that cause us to stop our purpose or our destiny, to cause us to put the brakes when we're supposed to be putting on the gas. You feel me? Life's what we make of it, but we have to make the conscientious choices to do what's going to be beneficial for us. We got to have that dog in us, and we have to realize, like, our values are our values. Let's do what's beneficial for us. Who cares what this family member has to say? I'm going to community college and I want to do what's going to be beneficial for me, so I have the time to figure out what's going to be beneficial for me. And that's what I did for me. and I got to where I got to be at. You feel me? 5/21/2026, Anthony got his master's. Everything in life happens for a reason, but we also too have to be intentional. We also too have to have this awareness. We also too have to move with this protection, because people out here, like I said, are suffering. Hurt people, and misery likes what, y'all? Company. And I'll be damned to allow you, right, to be that company in that misery. But then again, right, it's all choices. It's all about that awareness. So setting boundaries isn't an act of selfishness, right? Boundaries is for you, right? It's self-respect for you. It's going to be beneficial for you, right? So learn to make decisions because they're right for you, not because of pressure, not because of guilt, not because of comparison with others. We're here to better ourselves. We're here for the personal development. We're here for the improvement. We're here to self-grow and self-improvement. You feel me? We're not here to be a robot. And the unique thing I want to be able to say too is that everybody is uniquely different. Everybody uniquely has different gifts. Everybody's brain is different. The human brain's complex. So that shows you something. With your values and you using that unique brain that you have, right? You're able to derive something very special from that. And that's only up to you to be able to figure these things out. Well, like I said, the self-care, the self-love, this positive self-talk, spending time with yourself, solitude, right? Seeking that support, but really building your character up. And for those that, once again, like I said, that come from a dysfunctional dynamic, we have to take action, y'all, because we're up against real forces and even our nervous system that is prone to deal with dysfunction. And I don't want us to trauma bond with other people or put ourselves into a compromised position around people that don't have the best mentality for us. Spend time alone to better understand your goals, once again, better understand your values and your purpose. Self-autonomy doesn't mean isolating yourself, right? Doesn't mean that you have to run away from people. Doesn't mean you cutting people off. Doesn't mean that you have to turn your back away against the world, right? It means maintaining your individuality while building healthy relationships, right? We need to figure out who we are, where we're going, what our purpose is, what is healthy, what is dysfunction, what am I in? What access am I allowing for people to be in my frame, in my sphere, in my environment? You feel me? What do I want out of this life? What supports do I potentially need? Have I been accountable? Right? What's going to be beneficial for me? How can I grow? And without spending time with yourself, you may not get to this point in your life. You may be lost in the sauce like many other people out here, right? But you came to this channel and you got right. And you got to this point, so you getting right? But I really want us to, like I said, implement some of the skills and things that we discussed today so we're able to improve our ways and build on our self-autonomy. Because once again, like I said, other people around us, to the left, to the right, family, friends, relationships that we're in, right? Everybody has their own values, comes from their own culture, comes from their own experiences, right? But when are we going to take the time to put the brakes on to realize, yo, what do I want? What are my values? What are my morals? What are my do's and don'ts? What are my, you feel me? My non-negotiables. What are my boundaries that I need to put up, because I'm no longer going to be the person I used to be before. I'm not going to sit here and be the filter of other people's emotions, be the peacemaker where I got to accommodate to people and they ain't even accommodating to me. When am I going to do what's going to be beneficial for me in regards to you? The more you trust yourself, the less you'll seek validation from others. Build that rapport with yourself, seek that support, and make the investment for you. Please, guys, please do what's beneficial for you, because I like I said, bro, no one knows what you're going through when you're going through it, right? And at the end of the day, all of you got is yourself. So let's build this rapport with ourselves. Let's love ourselves. Let's build our self-values, and let's stand on business. You feel me? With this being said, y'all, hopefully you guys were able to derive, like I said, some information that's going to be able to give you the awareness, the protection, that knowledge overall, so you're able to navigate through life, right? And if you found this video beneficial, give it a thumbs up, share if possible, so other people out here are able to really get the information that they need so they can build their values, and we can, you feel me? We can become a better, loving, you feel me, supportive individuals as we're able to heal through dysfunction and the crisis of the world that we're in, right? Once again, share, thumbs up, you know what I mean? And I'll see you on the next one. Stay blessed. Always.